Hello everyone, Gusplay with you. I have compiled a list of the most downloaded games for the entire existence of Android and iOS. I think that you will know them, but if you haven't or haven't tried them, then this will be a great occasion for you. Yes, and I almost forgot. Do not forget to go to the Communities tab, because contests with valuable prizes are waiting for you. Let's go. If at the beginning of 2010 you saw a man frantically sweeping his finger on his smartphone, then he definitely played Fruit Ninja. This is an arcade game in which the player's task is to cut fruits at speed on which a set of points depends, and not to cut periodically arising bombs. At one time, the game was widely popular and is now most likely perceived as a classic. Apparently, the older generation shares their impressions with the younger, which confirms the number of installations. According to unofficial information, it will soon exceed 500 million. I wish them good luck. The next game of my top is Despicable Me Minion Rush. This is a three-dimensional game in a genre of endless racing, in which you control yourself, guesses by whom? Of course the minion. The goal of the game is typical for games in this genre, is to collect the maximum number of bananas. Thanks to those bananas, you can buy additional items and unlock varied outfits for minions. It's very interesting in this game that you can customize your minions to your liking, adding outfits and accessories so that they look the same in the cartoon or otherwise. I can say that Despicable Me Minion Rush is a very funny game with the great graphics that will appeal to both children and adults and give you a lot of fun. 8th place is occupied by Angry Birds. Some of you may say that it should be higher or even take 1st place, but I took the classic version and not all the series this game. This is a game about Angry Birds, the number of installation of which exceeded 500 million. Angry Birds have long been more than just a game. There is an amusement park in the world, an animated series, a feature film dedicated to the series of the game, and hundreds of millions and maybe billion of fans around the world. Hlll Racing, one of the most popular arcade games in the mobile stores, which was able to collect more than 500 million downloads. The essence of the game is that you control a mini car, and your task is to collect bonus coins on the road, monitor the fuel level, and constantly monitor the level of acceleration in your car, so as not to be turned upside down on one of the many potholes. Of course, if there are coins in the game, then there are improvements, namely engine parts, shock absorbers, tires, and a bridge. If you are a lover of a simple but exciting automotive arcades, then you simply have to download Hlll Racing. The debut work of Supercell Studio, the Clach of Clans game, instantly rose to the tops of strategic games and has already collected more than 525 million downloads worldwide. This is a real-time strategy in which you must build a village in which members of your fearless clan could live when they do not take part in the various missions, providing their valor and destroying enemy camps. Clash of Clans is divided into two completely different strategies. On the first, you have to build buildings and hire citizens whom you ultimately have to pay, and on the second, you get into real-time strategy battles in which you must show all your skills. There are 10 different types of units in the game that you can improve by gauging experience and money. You can also build all kinds of various defensive structures for your city, and this is vital if you certainly want to withstand your enemies. Lastly, I'll say from myself that Clash of Clans is an entertaining strategy game in which a plot that is much more interesting than it might seem at first glance. And most importantly, that the game is completely free. And do not forget that all the links are traditionally in the description below this video. The appearance of this character has nothing to do with either Nightingale litter or anything else. In 1996, a toy Tamagotchi was born. It one time enslaved many people. It needed to be fed, laid to bed, healed, cleaned, and amused. According to official information alone, Tamagotchi sold more than 40 million units. Apparently, the idea of caring for virtual pet really liked the users. This in turn was used by Poe developers, and their offspring that set the function of customization option and certainly much wider. Build-in mini-game also appeared. All this, against the backdrop of an increase in the number of smartphone owners, helped the game break 550 million installations. Temple Run 2 is the second part of an endless game that has become one of the most popular and successful in history. The second often has similar mechanics to the first, but has many interesting additions. Among the new features, you can highlight new obstacles and bonuses that will make you be more attentive to everything that is happening around. There is still an interesting opportunity, which consists in the fact that now you can choose from several characters, each of which has its own qualities. The graphics in the game are also improved compared to the first version of the game. Lastly, I can say that Temple Run 2 is a really great game in which you can spend many hours jumping, sleeping, dodging obstacles and have to be sold in the highest heroes in a desperate attempt to escape. If your cat is talking and his name is Tom, please urgently ask him for help. I guarantee anonymity. Talking Tom is a global phenomenon that has gone down in the history of mobile applications. So said the developers, and I tend to agree with him. Although I am not even the target audience, Talking Tom is immediately a set number of records for downloads at the start. And if you take the entire series of Talking volumes and his friends, then it is the second series games in the history of number of downloads. According to some sources, this figure is about 2 billion. There are simply no words. Candy Crush Saga is exactly the game that people see on their smartphones when traveling on subway or buses. Take a look and see it by yourself. The most popular puzzle game from Series 3 is unlikely for all times. You must combine 3 game suites in a row to make them disappear. If you combine more, you will receive special candies that give additional opportunities. You need to collect as many points as it possible in a limited amount of time or moves. What am I telling? You know Candy Crush very well, and this is our first game of today's top, in which has exceeded 1 billion downloads. A guy with a backpack and a hood, who is he? Genius, billionaire, philanthropist on a Google Play? Subway Surf, here we come to the most interesting. Who knows this guy who runs without fatigue by rail and collects thousands of coins in his backpack? That's right, everyone knows that absolutely every person who was holding a smartphone in his hands hung in this game. This is the most popular runner in the world and the most downloaded game in the world. The milestone of 1,100,000 has already been taken, and this is only in Google Play. I applaud standing and forward to 5 billion. These were the 10 most downloaded mobile games in the history of Android and iOS. Write in the comments your record in these games, for example. I have a record in the most downloaded games for more than 3 million. And to make sure, add me as friend on Facebook. See ya!